Hi guys, how is your day going? Yaje here. Today I'm going to answer a question that was asked of me recently by one of my subscribers. Between Eru and Achu, which one is healthier? I want to answer that question today and also show you how I cook my signature Eru. Alright, so for those of you who are not from Cameroon, let me introduce you to Eru. Eru is a delicious, like finger-licking good meal, originally from the Bayangi tribe, right? So we have all these tribes in Cameroon that have like their traditional food. Eru belongs to the Bayangi people, but now it might as well just belong to the whole of Cameroon. Okay, I'm telling you that they sell Eru in Binka. Binka is where I come from, the Northwest province. So if you can find Eru in Binka, then that really tells you that now Eru is a national dish. Eru is made using the leaves of a vegetable that is like a wild vegetable. It grows in the wild, in the forest, in like Central West Africa area. And the way that they make it in Cameroon is the Eru with palm oil, then some ground crayfish, which is just dried shrimp, and then meat, which beef, and then cowskin. These are the ingredients for the Eru. So I have the Eru over here. I already soaked this, pre-soaked Eru. And then here I have Waterleaves. This is from the freezer. I harvested it a couple of days ago and washed it, sliced it, and saved it in the freezer, so it's ready for use. And then here I have crayfish, ground crayfish. Crayfish is like dried shrimp, so there's no Eru without the crayfish, and I use lots of it. This is about a cup, but I will probably taste it and adjust as I cook. And then I have some seasoning cubes. I'm cooking this for myself, my household, and some guests. So I'm gonna cook it the traditional way. So I'm using seasoning cubes, and I have a lot of habanero peppers, lots of them. That's probably not enough. I have 2 more over here. And this is obstacles. This is protein. So the Holy Trinity, I have Kanda. I'm not cooking any Eru without the Kanda or pomo, cowskin. And then dry fish, smoked fish. This is what we call, I think it's mololo. It's smoked herring. That just makes the Eru work. And then over here I have beef. This is quote unquote smoked beef. I just put it in the broiler to, you know, give it a little bit of a different kind of flavor. And it's all cooked, and I have sufficient stock in there since I am using dried Eru. Fresh Eru, maybe you don't need a lot of additional liquid, but for the dried Eru that we have over here, you want to make sure you have some stock. So this is all already seasoned with a lot of pepper already. And then of course palm oil. So palm oil is the oil that you use. Please get the best quality. This is palm oil. I personally think that palm oil from Cameroon is the best. So when I go to shop for palm oil, I look for made in Cameroon. So I guess this one is Susa palm oil. And then we're ready to cook our Eru. But I've heard that some other parts of Africa, they make their Eru with peanuts. Yes, I'm yet to taste that version of Eru. And the Eru is usually accompanied, is eaten with what we call water fufu. That's the traditional way. Water fufu is fermented cassava. Yeah, it's fermented cassava. Or gari. Gari is also fermented cassava, but water fufu is more starchy than the gari. So by the time they're making gari, they have kind of removed the starch from the cassava, and so I think gari is a little bit healthier than water fufu because it has less of the starch. So that's that for Eru. Achu, on the other hand, is the traditional meal for people of the Bafut, I think the Quen Bafut area. Please, nobody should quote me on this. I'm not I didn't do geography. So that's Achu. So Achu is there's Achu soup and the Achu. So the Achu is like the pounded taro roots, cocoyams, right? They take cocoyams, boil it, and then pound it, or like much like mashed potatoes. Like, so it's mashed taro root. That's the starchy part of it. And then the soup is emulsified palm oil. So Achu has basically no vegetable, even though now I see people serving Achu with a little bit of vegetable on the side. So now between Eru and Achu, which one is healthier? You want to get the biggest pot that you have. You want something that has a lot of space because there's going to be a lot of stirring. Okay. So what I do first is cook the water leaf. So I always start with my water leaf. And please, if you cannot find water leaf, use spinach. Fresh spinach, not the frozen. Okay, fresh bunch spinach will work as well. But authentic Eru is made with water leaf. I'm lucky enough to have some in my garden. So we want to cook the water leaf for a little bit. Start the cooking process. I'm gonna add a little bit of my stock to cook the water leaf with. Let that cook for a couple of minutes. I'll tell you, both of them are so yummy, right? They are so good. Both of them are extremely calorie dense, I'm gonna tell you. So if your goal is fat loss, the way I see people cook Eru nowadays has a bunch of oil, a lot of meat, you know, so that is going to translate into high calories. Achu as well, you know, has high calories because of the oil that is like the main ingredient, and also the starchy carbohydrates. So in terms of calorie density, I think they're both the same. At this point, the water leaf is soft enough and we start to add the Eru to the pot. So we add gradually and stir, add and stir until the Eru is soft enough. Remember, the water leaf is used as a softener. You can add some palm oil just to make the stirring process a little bit easy at this stage. There's a lot of stirring involved, a little bit of a workout, so feel free to use some of those muscles. Now, Eru is mostly vegetables, a lot of vegetables, the Eru itself, and then you usually have to use another vegetable, which we use water leaf to soften the Eru, otherwise you will not be able to eat it. So a lot of vegetables go into Eru. So I think Eru wins because of the vegetables. I know, I could use a blender, but some things just taste better done the traditional way. So I pull out my pepper stone and I crush my peppers. I'm sorry, there's no Eru without the hot chili peppers. If you can't stand the peppers, no Eru for you. I was looking at a paper that they've done. If you can go Google Eru, the scientific name for Eru is Gnetum africanum. Okay, if you Google that, you will find a lot of studies that have been done on the health benefits of Eru. So it is very high in fiber, and we know that dietary fiber helps to reduce cholesterol, right? So it helps to, because it kind of like just soaks up cholesterol. So you want fiber in your diet. The water fufu that I mentioned is fermented. So fermented foods have that probiotic, which is good for your microbiome. So in that way, Eru is healthier. You know, overall, Eru is healthier than Achu, but they are both yummy. You have to understand, like I said, that they are both very calorie dense. So the question should be, how can I make Eru healthier, or how can I make Achu healthier? So to make Eru healthier, consider cutting back on the amount of oil that you add to the Eru. I have even heard some people make pepper soup Eru. I mean, I don't eat it that frequently. So when I do make Eru, I make Eru. It's not something I eat every day. So when I make it in the way that people are going to eat and remember Cameroon. But if you're in Cameroon and you are exposed to this very frequently, then you have to figure out a way to cook it in a way that reduces the amount of calories. An easy way to do that would be cut back on the oil that goes in there. And then maybe instead of water fufu, you do gari. Like I said, gari is less starchier than water fufu, so gari. Or you can do your vegetable fufus. That will work as well. You enjoy your Eru guilt-free. In fact, that's what I will be doing. I will eat my Eru with eggplant fufu. All right, and then how can you make Achu healthier? I will just say you use a lot of vegetables. Instead of just making the vegetable a little bit on the side, make it a substantial amount for your meal, for the Achu meal. Okay, so you can add the green vegetables. You can also add garden egg to it. That would add the fibers that naturally doesn't come with your Achu and the Achu soup. And maybe reduce the amount of the obstacles. That's too much meat for waiting. You don't need all of that meat, right? Yeah, so that's how you do that. At this point, I'm just adding more palm oil. The way African cooking goes is by sight and by taste. So if you think you need more palm oil, you add. If you think you need more seasoning cubes, drop some there. If you think you need more ground crayfish, you add some more ground crayfish until it tastes just right. Please do not forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Our Eru is ready. My mom used to tell me that the Eru is ready when it starts to catch for underpot, which just means it starts to burn just a little bit. You will get this Eru smell. That's when you know it's ready. So I'm serving it with gari or my eggplant or my garden egg fufu for the healthier version. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to make it a healthy and fit rest of the day, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye bye.